Today, we're diving into a critical issue affecting aspiring counselors, the burden
Yeah.
of supervision costs and how it creates inequities in licensure.
Oh, that's a big one. Can you break down exactly how supervision costs impact these counselors?
Absolutely. So, after years of education and training, counselors in training need supervised hours to get licensed. But those supervision sessions can cost anywhere from $50 to $200 an hour.
Wow.
It's like a hidden tuition fee that no one talks about.
That must add up quickly, especially when they need hundreds of hours, right?
Exactly. For someone working in a low paying or even unpaid position, it's
Right.
almost insurmountable. They have to choose between paying their bills or paying for supervision.
That's really tough. And I imagine it hits hardest for those from underserved communities.
Yes, precisely. It disproportionately affects candidates from low income backgrounds, people of color, and those in rural areas.
Mm-hmm.
It's ironic because these are often the individuals most committed to serving marginalized populations.
So the very people who want to help underserved communities are the ones facing the biggest hurdles?
You got it. It's like wanting to build a bridge to help others cross, but you can't afford the materials.
Right.
The financial strain just widens the inequity gap in the mental health field.
That's a powerful analogy. And it must affect the diversity of counselors entering the workforce?
Definitely. Fewer diverse counselors mean less culturally competent care. It's a
Yeah.
ripple effect that impacts the very fabric of mental health services.
So what can be done to address this barrier?
Well, there are a few paths. Advocating for funding programs that subsidize supervision costs is one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, encouraging employers, especially in nonprofits, to cover these expenses can make a huge difference.
That's interesting, but is that feasible for all organizations?
It might not be easy, but investing in counselors is investing in society's
True.
well-being. Some organizations are already stepping up through mentorship programs and platforms dedicated to reducing these barriers.
Like creating a community of support to lift up the next generation?
Exactly. It's like a relay race where each runner ensures the baton is passed smoothly.
Yeah.
By supporting trainees now, we're ensuring better mental health care for everyone in the future.
I love that metaphor. So how can experienced counselors contribute?
They can become what some are calling a supervisionary.
A
Yeah.
supervisionary?
By offering their time and expertise as supervisors, they guide aspiring counselors and help break down those financial barriers.
That's fantastic. It's like paying it forward within the profession.
Totally. And it doesn't just help individuals, it strengthens the whole mental health community.
Right.
More support means more diversity and accessibility in counseling services.
But do you think enough seasoned professionals are aware of this need?
Honestly, probably not.
Yeah.
Raising awareness is key. If more experienced counselors knew the impact they could make, I believe many would step up.
So it's also about education within the field itself?
Exactly. It's like shining a light on a path that's been there but overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
We need to encourage a culture where supporting newcomers is the norm.
Couldn't agree more. But playing devil's advocate here, what about the supervisor's time and costs?
That's a fair point. Supervisors are professionals with their own expenses.
Right.
But even offering reduced rates or a few pro bono hours can collectively make a big difference.
So small contributions from many can lead to significant change?
Yes, it's like many hands making light work.
Exactly.
Every bit of support helps break down the barriers aspiring counselors face.
This is such an important conversation. How can listeners get involved?
Great question. If you're an experienced counselor, consider becoming a supervisionary. Reach out to organizations that facilitate these mentorships. For others, spreading the word and supporting mental health funding initiatives can also help.
It's inspiring to think about the collective impact we can have.
Absolutely. By investing in counselors today, we're helping heal the
Well
world
said.
tomorrow. It's all about building a more compassionate and inclusive future.
So true. Any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Just that everyone has a role to play. Whether it's offering supervision, advocating for policy changes, or simply raising awareness, we can all contribute to breaking down these barriers.
Right.
Together, we can make mental health care accessible for all communities.
That's a powerful message. Thanks for shedding light on this important issue.
Thank you for the great discussion, and
Yeah.
thanks to our listeners for tuning in. Let's all do our part in supporting the next generation of counselors.